Welcome back. We are live from Penn GSE's Innovation Summit, and I have the pleasure of meeting with Leah Guzman from College Contact. Leah, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm a little bummed you're not wearing the blue suits. For those that don't know, that's the brand.
Imagine it.
Imagine it. Yes, there's plenty of content online to see the blue suits or at a conference coming near you. I'd like to first start, for those that aren't familiar with College Contact, how are you serving students?
Yeah, so College Contact provides college and career support to students through near-peer mentorship.
Yeah.
So we work with students anywhere ages like 12 to 13 all the way up till high school graduation, helping them explore future pathways, weigh their options, set goals, and then obviously eventually walk them through the steps to actually achieve whatever post-secondary goal they determine they want to achieve.
Near peer.
Yes.
That, I'm not gonna lie, that was a new term to me. I'm familiar with peer-to-peer like many others. Can you explain what that looks like and why near peer for College Contact versus the traditional peer-to-peer method?
Yeah, absolutely. I think peer-to-peer has been valuable in this space before. I don't know if you've heard of Peer Forward. Similar, yeah. They train other high schoolers to help high schoolers with college and career readiness. We love near peer and our students love near peer, which by the way just means a near peer. So not someone who's quite the same age as you, but someone who's close. And so our students really love it. We really love it because if you think about post-secondary, it's a big transition. There's a weirdly low amount of support for that transition. There's a lot happening in high school. There's a lot happening in your next step, but a lot of times that like space between doesn't really get covered. And so when a student has an opportunity to connect with a near peer, they get this sense of relief and comfort of like, wait, this person has crossed the chasm. They made it. And we really focus on matching students with near peers who share their demographic backgrounds, their interests, their goals. And so not only is it a piece of like people make it past the chasm, but it's people like me can make it past the chasm and be successful and achieve their goals and make it through that adjustment period, which can be awkward and stressful and overwhelming.
And weird.
Yeah.
I mean, when we think about it, you're going from traditional education, you're in the classroom for 8 hours a day, same group of people, and you're moving on and on and on. And now you're at this point where you're 18, you can vote, you can move out. But even if you're living at home and going to a community college, or you're going out of state, like there's just a lot of change happening.
Yeah.
The relationship between student and guardian or parent, that looks different than when you're 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, are there any maybe stories that come to mind of, I'm getting the sense that this has a lot more to do than just the tactical change these words in the essay or put this and don't put that. Am I off, or is there more connectivity there between the mentor and mentee?
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this now for 5 years or so. And there's so many stories I can speak to, but also just a lot of learnings that we've had about where our magic really lies. And so the magic for us really does lie in that human connection and that near peer connection. I think what I hear more and more from administrators, from parents, and from students themselves is that this generation is struggling with a lot of uncertainty about what post-secondary means and what post-secondary success really means for each student. And at the student level, that's led to a lot of apathy about students' futures. Not a lot of, I don't want to do anything, but I think that uncertainty has caused a lot of students to shut down in terms of thinking about their futures. And there's so many trickle-down effects of that. Not wanting to go to school, not wanting to participate or engage in school, lower academic performance. And those things actually trickle down to hurt districts. And so what all of this comes down to is what we've seen is when a near-peer relationship develops and when students start to see that light at the end of the tunnel of holy cow, look at these people who are just a little bit older than me, who are just like me, who are thriving and succeeding in their post-high school careers. It gives them like I said, that light at the end of the tunnel, that excitement back to like what you see in little kids when they're like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor or a pop star or whatever. We reignite that through these relationships. And so I think that to me at this point with the company is where I see our biggest value add. It's just like re-engaging kids in their futures.
I'm thinking about, don't quote me on the statistic, but there's one floating out there. If a student has one class or one teacher that they really connect with,
it takes one.
The engagement level that they have of actually showing up to school and sticking through to graduation like increases greatly. And I'm kind of hearing that as well with like you're focused on, we're not trying to build a relationship with a professor because we're not even there yet.
Yeah.
But it's the near peer. I want to get to your why a little bit. Why college contact for you? And we'll start there.
Yeah, totally. I think for me, I say all the time, I could not work as hard as I work if I wasn't doing this. Like having my career be something that like truly matters to me and truly gets me out of bed every day has been something that I know a lot of people are not fortunate enough to have. So I'm incredibly grateful for that. I think what really led me to this, a few things. I grew up in a school where there were massive achievement gaps, massive wealth disparity, and I think it always really bothered me because I saw the difference in supports that students were getting to look to their futures. And so that always kind of bothered me and was something that I tried to participate actively in working against. But the way I boil down my why is a story about my family. So I was really fortunate. My parents had these conversations with me. They were my mentors when I was in high school, sitting me down at the table and saying, hey, Leah, your future needs to be a combination of what you like to do and what you're good at. You need to think about where you might want to go to school or what you might want to do. And we had all those conversations at the kitchen table, and I was really lucky. My parents were both first generation college students. Their parents didn't finish even high school. And so they didn't really have anyone to talk to about this. And they sat at the table alone and they figured it out. And they really pushed to do that for themselves. And I'm super lucky that they were so motivated. But their parents, my mom's parents were immigrants. My dad's mother was a foster child. And they never sat at the table at all because they didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They didn't believe in their futures. My grandma's told me so many times, like, I didn't see any worth in myself or my future. And so I think for me, like, I want to give every student someone to sit at the table with. And my grandparents are some of the most amazing people and valuable people that I know. And without their determination and their hard work, our family wouldn't be where we are. And so I don't want that lost potential to keep taking generations to come to fruition, So giving every student someone to sit with, someone to believe in their future and to be that one person to help them engage is definitely my why.
That's powerful. And you're providing the person to speak to, but also I feel it's fair to say you're creating the kitchen table.
Yeah.
There's so much noise, but through College Contact, there's actually a space for the mentor-mentee to sit. I'm curious from an impact point of view, what are you looking to achieve with College Contact? What impact are you looking to create?
Yeah, I think as I learn more, and obviously I think the narrative around post-secondary shifts, I think if you'd asked me 5 years ago, I would have been like making sure every kid can go to college. And now I think we've seen wild changes in that in the past 5 years. I think for me, it's two things. One is from like a truly like KPI driven standpoint that all of our students have concrete post-secondary plans and the resources they need to take the steps to achieve those plans. The next piece would be that our product and our network continues developing so that those students, as they transition into that plan, are able to stay in contact with mentors and have resources so that those plans are sticky and they're able to persist. And then the overarching one, which is probably much more qualitative, is just that we give these students someone who believes in them to help them believe in themselves. I think when I think about the most powerful mentors in my life, they've been people who helped me believe more in myself. And I think if we can help a student even just graduate high school with a deeper belief in themselves and a deeper confidence, that's how you build resilience, and resilience is so necessary in the crazy, ambiguous, chaotic world we're living in.
Yeah, no, 100%. We're speaking a lot to the value created for the mentee. Let's talk about the mentor for a moment. Something that stands out to me is post-college, getting that first job. We hear about all the time on TikTok and other platforms that applications are requiring experience for entry-level positions. It's like, well, how the heck are you going to get experience if you can't get that first step? Let's first talk about that, and then more broadly, the value for the mentors, because it's my understanding that this is not an internship for the mentors, but this is actual like hands-on compensated experience for them.
Yeah. Our business is definitely like, I don't know, the value is twofold now. I think we've definitely heard that from mentors, and it's something we prioritize actually is kind of like professional development of the mentors. So the number one thing that we hear from mentors and that you can read about in the news is that entry-level jobs, particularly, for college age students, they're probably going to take a big hit because of AI. They kind of are taking a big hit. And the same thing goes for internships. The demand and supply for internships are not matching up. So we really, really love our model because it does a few things. One, it gives students an opportunity to earn while they learn. College in particular, students need supplemental income.
Yep.
B, it's providing valuable work experience that simulates things students are going to see in the workplace, communication skills, email, video calls, all of these things that are really important to build skills in, as opposed to doing an earn while you learn, like, working as a barista or a bartender or something, which a lot of students end up doing. And then the last one is, in our application, we ask every mentor, why are you applying for this job? Because sometimes even more than skill, their motivation and their commitment to what we're doing in our mission is such a huge, important determinant of mentor success. Almost all of them will tell you that they wish they had this, that they wish there had been someone who was a near peer who could have supported them through the process. And that spans all demographic backgrounds, all income levels.
Yeah.
Every single one of our mentors says that. And so I think the opportunity to earn money, develop valuable skills, and do something meaningful and fulfilling is such a great opportunity for our students, our mentors.
Yeah, that's wonderful. When we look at the journey in the business, what milestones come to mind? You mentioned 5 years. So you were functioning before GPT hit society. Talk to me about your first like pinch me moment where it's like, oh, this is real. Like we're there's something here.
Oh my gosh. There's definitely a lot. I think for my co-founder, I know when we were in college and the business was just a side hustle, one of our professors, she went to him for like tax help. She was like, do I need to be paying taxes? And he was like, holy cow, you're making a lot of money. Like, you need to be filing taxes. And so I think that was the first time that she really saw a future of like, oh, wait, this could like be a business.
Yeah.
I think for me, my biggest, like most emotionally moving moment has always been interactions with the mentors and the students, particularly when we implemented our first like full district in California. I was so scared because you just hear about high schoolers, and I remember being a high schooler and you're kind of cold and you want to be cool and you don't want to get excited about anything. The excitement in that room as we were going through mentor matching, like it still gives me chills. Sophie and I were both like on the brink of tears on the way home, just like, oh my gosh, thank God. Like, thank God that this is like working. And they really want this. Like everything that we've hypothesized about these kids and these schools is true. Like to see it fully in action in a school was so cool.
I'm curious because you're working with young people. You're young yourself. My company's Old Soul. So we all have the fundamental belief that young people can do amazing things.
Yeah.
Has there ever been any imposter syndrome?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just
That's like the easiest question
Yeah.
to answer. Yeah.
How have you dealt with that?
For me, I think, and Sophie too, we're pretty, oh gosh, how do you say this? Like, we're pretty no nonsense in terms of like, know the moments that you need to project confidence and be confident.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that having each other in this, and when one of us really doubts ourselves, the other person being able to be there and be like, no, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't believe in you, and we can do this. But I do think, yeah, I mean, I've had so many moments. Like I had one time last summer where I was like building our financial model. I was working with our team, like managing our tech team. I'm not a technical person. And we were trying to make like implementation plans for one of our first schools. And I was getting a lot of feedback from, advisors, investors, some of the people on our tech team at the time were not being super respectful to me. And I fully like broke down to Sophie and I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not an expert at any of these things and I'm pretending to be. And like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then like after conversations with her and my parents, they're just like, everyone's pretending a little bit. Like the best you can do is keep doing your best and keep asking for help and keep working on it. And knowing that we're doing something so important tells me every day, like, you just have to keep figuring it out and you have to keep working on it. And I don't know, I would rather be too humble than too confident. I think as a founder, it's a little bit of a skill too, and a positive. Because if you're always just like out the wazoo overconfident, I think you miss things.
Yeah, and people can notice.
Yeah,
they can tell that it may not be genuine. Okay, what is your message to young people kind of navigating if college is even an option for them or something they even want to pursue? What would you say to them?
Yeah. My favorite place to start with students is still always where my dad started with me, which is make 2 lists. 1 list of things you like to do and 1 list of things that you're really good at. And sometimes that's like maybe ask mom or dad or your friends things that you're good at. It doesn't have to be math. It could be like making my friends feel better when they're sad. It could be making quesadillas. Like it can be anything, and make these 2 lists and think about, what are the skills that I have that really shine? That could be being methodical. It could be taking care of other people, being compassionate, whatever. And what are the things I really enjoy doing, and try to look for overlap. This is a great exercise to then bring in an AI and kind of start to be like, these are my 2 lists. Can you help me think about career paths and careers that might be of interest to me? Learn about a ton of careers and then think about like, what's required of these careers. Your ideal career might not require going to college. It might require going to 8 years of school. It might require going to 2 years of school. But thinking about those things and kind of coming up with a few scenarios and thinking through those, I think is a great place to start. And then talking to people that are in those careers. You can look at our mentors. You can look on LinkedIn, learning about those things and seeing like, is this really a good fit for me?
I love that. That's very practical.
Yeah.
What are you good at and what do you like? And you find that overlap, and these are your gifts.
I tell my friends all the time, like, if you do something that you hate that makes you a lot of money, if you would just do what you love, I bet you could make just as much, if not more money.
Yeah, money always comes.
Like, I think, if you really have a gift for, I don't know, making people feel special.
Yeah.
Maybe now you're like building an event planning business all built around events that make individual people and their specific backgrounds feel super special. And now you're a business owner, and and like, and maybe you suck at math. You hire someone to do the math. Like, I think as long as, students can keep kind of dreaming big and thinking about those things, they'll find their way.
They will.
Yeah.
They will. Well, thank you so much for visiting. Where can people go to learn more about College Contact?
Yeah, our website is just yourcollegecontact.com. You're also always welcome to find me and Sophie on LinkedIn. We love unsolicited LinkedIn messages. And yeah, we would love to hear from people.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Leah.
Thank you.
Thank you.